What do you do when you have one of these left over, a drawer rail? Well, I have an idea where I'm going to put this one to use. Come along, I'll show you what I'll do.
Hi anyone, I'm Scott Bain. They call me the old farmer. I have no plans nor even a clear idea on how a sliding clamp holder should look or in fact how it should work. I wanted to reuse the old workbench slides. First, I built a panel that I attached a lip that the clamps can hang on. That part was easy. 2 scrap pieces of wood, some screws and glue, and I had the unit built. I wanted to attach the clamp holder to the side of the cabinet and have it slide back out of the way when not needed. But then when I needed some clamps, I could pull it out and get the clamps I want. I had some problems getting one rail attached to the panel. And when I finally got it so everything would work, I attached the rail to the side of the cabinet and clamped a few clamps on it to see how it would work. The whole unit pulled off the rail. It couldn't hold the weight. No, let me say it differently. It could hold the weight, but the side torque pulled the rail apart. So I decided to use 2 slides, one higher up and one lower down to balance out the torque. For some reason, I had problems lining up both rails. I couldn't get the 2 rails lined up as they should be. I figured 2 rails was enough to hold the weight and handle the side torque too. I tried 5 or 6 times to align the rail so that it would work. For some reason, it didn't. I had binding all over the place. I finally gave up on the workbench rails. I had to use screws that were too small to hold the weight. That is, for a long period of time. I didn't think that the endurance was there for the long haul using such small screws. If I used anything larger, and the screw heads got in the way of the sliding rails. This is not working out the way I thought it would. I set the project aside for a couple of weeks and let it do a slow perk in the back of my mind. When I redid the drawers on the Windsor workbench with new rails, I had extra in the package that I had purchased. I opened a pair and could easily attach them to the panel and to the side cabinet in my first attempt. I could use a good-sized screw to hold everything together, too. The rails had indented channels that allowed for larger screw heads. Within a couple of hours, I had the thing put together and hanging on the side of the cabinet. Instead of the heavier clamps, I put most of my lighter clamps up and in place. The rails handled the weight without any problems. I had to move some plywood that was behind the workbench out of the way so that the long clamps could hang straight down. That meant moving the credenza out an inch or 2. With everything in all the drawers and the stuff on top, it probably weighed between 750 and 1,000 pounds. And that was not sterling pounds either. I did get the credenza moved a couple of inches I needed. I slid the paneling behind and then shoved the credenza back into place. Now the clamps can hang straight. I did this all off camera. Why? I didn't think of turning a camera on while doing it. I had a camera on a tripod next to me, and in fact, it got in the way while I was doing this adjusting. I got everything back the way it should be, and then I moved the drill press back into place. With a wiggle here and a nudge there, I got it so that I could use the drill press without the clamps getting in the way, and I could pull out the slide and get the clamps I needed. It ain't pretty, but the thing works pretty good. Now I can use the old clamp holder for some of my other heavier clamps. In the end, everything worked, and I didn't run out of any adult words while doing the project. Before we go, it's important to quickly mention for all who are visiting to subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment, and share with friends and family. Now for the most important part. Thank you to those who have subscribed. Thank you. And yes, thank you to those who are visiting. We value you too. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers so that we may receive a pittance from YouTube to cover expenses. We replaced one camera, tripod, and bought a water-cooled editor for video production, plus all the tools we review. So if you could help us reach that 1,000 subscription point, thank you. Well, this is the old farmer Scott Bain. Be well, be safe, and be kind to someone.
Don't forget to click like and click subscribe on the Old Farmer YouTube channel. And thanks again for watching. Bye.
The VFW National Home for Children, providing families of veterans and active duty military opportunities for growth and development in a nurturing community. Please consider a donation to help their children and families. I.C. Rhodes speaking.